members of the Coast Guard's past, present, and future. First, reporter Anna Carranza introduces us to a leader who serves his country by serving and helping the environment.
The Coast Guard, I think, are ultimate doers. That's how I describe the Coast Guard. Whenever we have a mission or anything we need to take care of, we're going to do it. And if you get in our way, we'll find a way around you.
Captain LaFerrier is talking about Armed Forces Day branch honored the United States Coast Guard.
We're honored, absolutely. The Coast Guard is honored to be a part of this and really appreciate the city of Torrance stepping out to honor the Coast Guard.
LaFerrier is the commanding officer of Sector Los Angeles Long Beach. Among his many responsibilities are maritime security for the ports of LA and Long Beach and marine environmental response and protection.
I have a passion for environmental issues, environmental protection, and heard about the Coast Guard's environmental mission, and I said, you know, that's something I want to do, so that's how I joined.
His first tour of duty was pollution response. He assisted with cleanup on the Exxon Valdez case and later went to Puerto Rico to respond to Hurricane Hugo. After working with the Atlantic Strike Team, completing his master's, and spending several years in Hawaii as a deputy sector commander, in 2009 he took his post here in Los Angeles.
I also have training in law enforcement, training in waterways management, and also facilities, like port facilities as well. So that's why I got assigned to this position, because of my wide range of training.
What do we got, sir?
When it comes to search and rescue, especially on the ocean, the Coast Guard's is always first.
We were the first federal agency there. Unlike other federal agencies, you know, we are a firehouse when it comes to search and rescue. So we didn't wait around for anybody, nor did we need to.
And on Armed Forces Day, parade watchers will have a lot to look forward to from the Coast Guard.
We have a lot of things planned, and of course we're an operational unit, and I hope we can provide these things, but we have hopefully a vertical insertion demonstration, which means we'll have a helicopter and people actually sliding out of the helicopter on ropes in full law enforcement gear. We'll have some boats, our 25-foot boats available.
See you at the parade. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Anna Carranza.
And Captain LaFerrier will be watching the parade with Grand Marshal Rear Admiral Michael R. Seward from the reviewing stand.
Although she's been out of the U.S. Coast Guard more than 50 years, Yvette Hyatt Covery will get a chance to shine along with fellow retired Coast Guard members. She'll be part of this year's Armed Forces Day parade. And as Margaret Sharp reports, she has definitely earned the honor.
And my husband was standing alongside, and there was a man nearby who said, "Hey, look, he's bringing it in like a fighter pilot." And my husband turned to him and said, he told me, he said, "That's no fighter pilot, that's my wife."
Yvette Hyatt Covery was a pilot and was able to fly air races sponsored by the U.S. Coast Guard, but getting there wasn't easy. As a teen, her parents resisted the idea of her attending flight school.
Oh, they didn't like it. They didn't like it at all. And they just said, no, you can't. And they wouldn't let me fly when I was 17 or 18. I worked one whole summer as a movie cashier to save the money for the flight insurance.
Since she was under 21, she couldn't get her parents to sign off on flight school. Instead, she became a SPAR, a female Coast Guard, and was stationed in Port Angeles, Washington. One day while at work, a Navy pilot offered her something that she had only dreamt about.
And he said, "Well, if you'd like to, you can get free, I'll take you for a ride." And I said, "Yes."
Soon after liftoff, she began to notice dirt rising from the floor and the instrument panel shaking.
And then all of a sudden I looked up, and there was water up there, and we're upside down. He had slow rolled it, but he didn't tell me in advance to warn me.
Hyatt Covery soon turned 21 and found a flight school that offered civilian training at a cost. She began flying solo, and it wasn't long before she was invited to join the 99s, a group of all-female pilots that competed in coast-to-coast aerial races. In 1950, her Coast Guard Reserve Unit sponsored Hyatt Covery in a race from San Diego to South Carolina.
I flew the race, and I think back now, and I wonder how I dared, because I had so little time, and I had no idea how big this country is, how many different types of weather.
She was able to make it across country in 5 days and placed in the top 20. At a time when female pilots were a rarity, Hyatt Covery was a pioneer, a title that still surprises her.
Early women flyers, and I'm among them, and I didn't think that I was.
Flying was a dream for Hyatt Covery since the time that she was a toddler, a dream that against all odds she was able to make come true. For CitiCABLE 3, I'm Margaret Sharp.
Thank you, Margaret. Hyatt Covery will be riding with Division 2 of the Coast Guard during the parade, and next week we'll have more profiles of U.S. Coast Guard members. And coming up after the break, we'll tell you where you can get a free haircut.
Now here's your 5-day forecast.